You know, you sometimes think you might be overthinking your career or spending way too much time planning your next move, but what if those weren't bad habits at all? Today, we're going to explore a pretty cool idea. What if those exact thinking habits are actually clear signs that you are more than ready for a huge life change, like moving to the UK for work?
So let's just ask the question straight up. Could the way you naturally plan things, the way you look at big decisions, be your single biggest advantage? What if, instead of fighting those instincts, you realize they're pointing you directly to your next big shot? Let's dive into the first sign, which is probably the one most of us can relate to.
Okay, first on the list is a trait that so many of us think is a weakness: overthinking. But let's flip that on its head. What if it's not overthinking at all? What if it's actually smart thinking? You know, a real intelligent advantage, especially when you're talking about a massive career move.
Yeah, on the surface, overthinking just feels like you're stuck on a hamster wheel of what-ifs, right? But for an analytical person, it's totally different. It means you don't just leap at the first shiny opportunity, you're actually weighing the pros and cons. You're looking around corners for potential problems, and you're searching for a path that's genuinely secure. That's not a weakness, that's a strategy.
The real trick is to channel all that brain power in the right direction. Look, the UK visa process, it's complicated. There's a mountain of paperwork, compliance rules, employer checks. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. And if you get lost in those details, you get paralyzed. But, and this is the key, when you have a structured process that handles all that messy stuff for you, all that detailed thinking is freed up to focus on the big prize. Your new career, your new life, it turns all that potential stress into actual, guaranteed progress.
All right, let's move on to sign number 2, which kind of builds on that analytical nature. We're talking about curiosity. And I don't mean just idle daydreaming. I mean an active, engaged curiosity about what your life could really be like in another country. It's a huge indicator of long-term success.
We all scroll online, but let's be honest, there's a world of difference between just killing time on social media and doing targeted, curiosity-driven research. If you find yourself hours deep into the specifics of working and living in the UK, you are not wasting time. That right there, that's your superpower. You're actively gathering intelligence and building a real foundation of knowledge.
Does any of this ring a bell? UK sponsorship routes, skilled worker visa salaries, maybe Nursery Education Worker jobs UK? If you've ever typed phrases like these into a search bar, that is a massive signal. You're not just dreaming anymore, you're actively trying to solve the puzzle. Your curiosity is literally leading you to the answers.
But here's the thing. All that research has to lead to something real. When it comes to a UK work visa, the goal is getting a Certificate of Sponsorship, or a COS. That's the official document from a licensed UK employer that actually makes your visa application possible. Finding those real, verified opportunities is how you stop the endless searching and finally get on a clear, actionable path.
So on to our third sign. And this one's for the quiet thinkers out there. It's about the power of listening and observing more than you talk. And this isn't about being shy at all. It's about being strategic. It's about spotting the hidden opportunities that everyone else misses because of all the noise. I mean, think about it. Is the loudest person in the room always the one with the best information? Almost never. It's usually the quiet observer, the person who's been listening, taking notes, and doing their research, who finds the really valuable deals. They're not getting swept up in the hype, they're looking for the real signal, and that's how you find the best opportunities.
And this is where being an observer really pays off. While you've been busy researching the what and why of moving, other people have been doing the heavy lifting on the how, finding and vetting employers and securing those precious sponsored roles. Your skill is being able to recognize that valuable intel when you see it and being ready to act on it.
Okay, sign number 4 is a little bit counterintuitive, but it's so important. It's all about self-doubt. Now, wait a minute. I'm not talking about a lack of confidence. I'm talking about a sign of high intelligence called intellectual humility.
There's a huge difference here, you see. Paralyzing self-doubt stops you from doing anything. But intellectual humility, that's the awareness of what you don't know, and it's what drives you to find an expert. The most successful people in the world know their limits. They don't try to guess their way through something when the stakes are this high. They partner with people who know what they're doing.
And this really shows the two different paths perfectly. On one side, you have that whole Dunning-Kruger thing, where a little bit of knowledge makes you overconfident. That's the I'll just do it myself approach to something as legally tricky as a visa. And on the other side, you have the expert partnership. That's the choice someone makes when they understand the stakes and know their energy is better spent somewhere else.
So let's just be blunt about it. Choosing a guided process isn't a sign of weakness, It's a sign that you're really, really smart. It's about realizing that your time and your energy are your most valuable resources. Leveraging expertise is the smartest way to make sure you don't waste either of them on mistakes that were completely preventable. It's a strategic move.
Okay, let's get to our fifth and final sign. This one is for anyone who finds their best ideas not in a noisy crowd, but in quiet focus. We're talking about the power of strategic solitude and deep, uninterrupted planning.
You know, society sometimes gets this wrong and labels focused people as loners, but the research tells a totally different story. High achievers, they recharge and do their absolute best work through focused thinking, not through constant small talk. So if you prefer to quietly map out your future on your own terms, you're not antisocial, you're operating like a top performer.
Your natural instinct for deep planning means you value efficiency and you want clear results. A successful move to the UK should respect that. It shouldn't be filled with a bunch of useless meetings or steps that just waste your time. It should give you the direct answers and expert support you need to move fast and move smart.
So let's put it all together. If these traits have been resonating with you, the smart analysis, the deep curiosity, the quiet observation, that intellectual humility, and the focused planning, then you're not just daydreaming. You are perfectly positioned to make your next big move.
Here they are one more time: overthinking, but smartly, staying curious, researching quietly, knowing when to ask for help, and planning with purpose. These are not just little personality quirks. These are signs that you are absolutely ready. They show that you're a serious professional, prepared to make a big strategic career change.
We've thrown this term around a bit, so let's make it official. A UK Local COS. That stands for Certificate of Sponsorship. It's the official document that a licensed employer gives you to sponsor your work visa. It proves the job is real and that you are their #1 candidate. It is, without a doubt, the golden key that unlocks the entire skilled worker visa process.
Which really just brings us to the final question, doesn't it? If you see yourself in these signs, if you're a professional who plans things out carefully and is ready to act decisively, then the question is pretty simple. Are you ready to take that next logical step?
Opportunities like these, including roles that are open right now for nursery education workers, are for people who are ready to act on their smart plans. If that sounds like you, then booking a consultation is the first step to turning all of that brilliant thinking into your new reality. Your future in the UK is waiting.